देता है वो है घर। खिले चेहरे और प्यार के साजो सामान से सजे घर की आरज़ू किसे नहीं। इसी घर के इर्द गिर्द होगी चर्चा परिचर्चा। All about your goals, your dreams pertaining to the Bay Area real estate in our show, Real Estate Roundup with Nagaraj Anaya, your trusted Bay Area realtor and the founder of nagarajhomes.com. गुड इवनिंग बे एरिया। मैं हूं सिया आपके साथ ऑन बॉली 92.3 एफएम। If buying a home has been on your mind, or you're thinking about an investment property, maybe you are in the process of selling your home, or just debating when is the right time to put your house on the market, let's navigate this journey together. Call us in the studio at 1877 Bolly 92. That's 1877 Bolly 92. As a Californian, one thing that's been on our minds this week has been the Los Angeles wildfires, which resulted in the exodus of more than 80,000 residents around the affected LA counties. Our hearts and prayers are with them. And with that, let me welcome Nagaraj. Nagaraj, good evening. How are you doing?
Hello, Sia. Good evening, and all the listeners. Thanks for listening to it, and thanks for joining for today's shows. I think you well said, Sia. I think the prayers should be kept for all the LA residents, what they're going on right now, right? The fire has spread across 13,956 acres, with only 3% is containment right now, and over 7,000 structures have been damaged or destroyed, and 110,000 residents have been evacuated. So it is such a disaster right now. The scope of the disaster, if you look around, so many people have been impacted and all the luxury homes have been impacted. Listeners, if you have any questions, we are live on Bolly 92.3 and you can give us a call today.
Yes, and Nagaraj, so people are speculating
Mm.
about the impact that these wildfires may
Okay.
have on the home insurance.
Yeah.
Some even fearing if California may face something similar to Florida, like, how insurance companies fled from there.
Yeah.
What's your take on this
Yeah,
situation?
I think it's, I think let's give out the number also here. Like our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92. We are live today. If you have any questions on the Bay Area real estate, if you have any questions on this fires and you would like to share about it, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92. So what are the primary causes for this for fires, right? Like the Santa Ana winds, which is like basically 90 miles per hour, which ignited a new fires rapidly, right? And second one was the drought and dry vegetation, especially on 8-month drought, after left the landscape brittle and highly flammable. And one more third important to notice aging infrastructure. Reports suggest like a down power lines may have started the fire, emphasizing the vulnerability of the old utility systems, right? All this has caused it like and more than 8 deaths have been confirmed and countless families have lost their homes and positions. So now let's talk about I think before talking about the insurance, let's talk about what are the lessons for the Bay Area. Correct. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think what are these lessons? What we can take about recently we had an earthquake also, right? Like there was an earthquake warning we had, earthquake, and because of the tsunami warning also was triggered. So what does this all this are giving us a lessons for us, right? First is the fire resistant building materials. In that huge fire, you saw that only few homes were not burnt. I think there should be a research going on to it why that homes were not burnt first. Recently, one of the home, like there was an historical house in Santa Clara, and I wanted to upgrade it to a fire resistance roof. But the city doesn't want to do it. City says we historical homes, we need to keep it as a older as possible. Dude, you need to do a retrofit means you need to upgrade to the existing standards, right? Or like existing
That is
fire
correct.
resistant. You are not even allowing us to upgrade to the fire resistant. You are always stick on to that age old 100-year-old roof, which is like asphalt roofs or single roofs, which is more of fire resistant. You have written there are a lot of community into it, like they want this historical houses, and I want to stick on to the old things. Come on, that is not the thing, right? You need to be allowing into the new modern things needs to be going into the houses, which basically stops all this fire related, right? Fire resistant materials, right? A lot of studies already on gone. I think there should be somebody needs to be jumping in. What were the reasons that two or three homes which were not burned, I think same thing needs to be enforced on the other homes also. And hello, don't like stick on to the age old stuffs. Basically, you're making sure like just doing that kind of upgrades. So listeners, we are live. Myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm live today on the Bolly 92.3. And if you have anything to share, our studio line numbers are 877-265-5992, 877-265-5992. And one more
Yes,
thing,
so you were right, upgrading to roofs and material with fire resistance.
not only the
Any other? Yes,
not
yes.
only that, even the siding, fire resistant siding and windows, stockos also needs to be investigated, right? And the second thing is creating a 100-foot buffer zones also. And one more thing is buffer zone, like especially around the homes by clearing a dry vegetation is one of the proven way to slow the spread of wildfires. And I was looking at the news like already somebody had guessed in 2018 itself this kind of disaster can happen in LA, but people were not prepared. So what is this like? Especially in recently there was in a tsunami warning also, right? If you had noticed in Half Moon Bay there was a huge traffic was there, right? What was that? Because evacuation route planning was not done properly. So that needs to be done properly, right? Evacuation, what is the route planning you need to be doing? How do you come across this? Second is the community alert systems. Like a lot of alert systems needs to be done. I think in the iPhone or the phones right now, we get a lot of alerts whenever something happens. But on top of it, some of the times, all the signals, wherever it is not reached, what are the alert systems we can do it, right? And the modernizing the utility infrastructure, what is that? Like underground power lines. I think right now in anywhere the Bay Area, you see that power lines are on the top. I don't know, it's PG&E from the long they're saying they want to go to
That's true.
underground. Dude, they've spent billions of dollars, not happening anything. And one more thing is a proactive power shutoffs. While especially something can prevent fires means proactively it needs to, because there's a lot of technology is there. I'm not sure why they're not utilizing and up to what grade it is there right now. They
That
should
is
be,
true.
that is,
Uh,
yeah.
So I would also urge people, if you would want to join the conversation, the studio line numbers are right now waiting, and you can give us a call at 1877 Bolly 92. That is 1877 Bolly 92. That's 1877 265 5992. And we have with us Nagaraj Anaya, a highly respected Bay Area realtor, entrepreneur, and mortgage consultant who's helped thousands of clients with his expertise in the dynamic Bay Area housing market. He specializes in guiding the first time home buyers, investors, and families towards securing their futures. So, if you are looking for a smart and informed property decision, why wait? You can speak to him right now. Just call in the studio. He's here with us, Nagaraj Anaya. The studio number is 1877 Bolly 92. That's
Yeah.
1877 265 5992. Yes, Nagaraj.
Yeah, see, and one more thing, have you heard about Watch D2 app anytime, Sia? Did
No,
you
I
did
have
you
not.
did you install that? No, it's a game changer app in wildfire
Oh,
alerts.
really?
Yeah. Combines the information from the radio scanners, wildfire cameras, and weather alerts to provide updates on fire locations, evacuation zones, and wind direction also. There are more than 7 million active users since 2021 launch, and more than 1 million downloads in 24 hours during recent LA fires. Right? If you're not installed it, do install Watch Duty app. It's more important than your Instagram app also. Correct.
Yes, I think after these lessons, after these fires, I'm sure people will, their whole attention will go towards these things. And this app that you're suggesting, I'm so glad that you're uh, just walking us through all these steps that are so important. So, what do
And
you
one more,
think like now? But the
and I think
homes
there's
that
one
are
more app.
already.
See, there's one more app you should be aware. Genesis evacuation system. Okay, this is also an
Okay.
app which gives you a real-time digital evacuation maps. Inputs your address or a phone number for a personalized safe routes also. So if you have not installed this Duty app and Genesis listeners, do install this both of the apps in your phones. And one more thing is here, like your important question was on the insurance, right?
Mhm.
A lot of times, the insurance companies are canceling. I think I heard also like they canceled before this, while they were aware about this, and they canceled all the insurances. And during this incidents also, a lot of cancellations was happening in, right? So what does this happen for a lot of homeowners now, right? So I think the federal has set up a hotline numbers for them, and if there are any issues with the insurance companies, they are like taking uh, all the complaints, and seeing that FEMA also, right? FEMA also is taking the complaints to address all this, and it's more than 50 to 60 billion loss is expected because of these huge wildfires. More than
That's
50
a
to 60.
huge loss.
It's a huge loss. So that is why, like, whenever you buy a house, also, right, a lot of time I call out to the, because you might have built this house keeping all of your savings, right? You're dependent on this house, and you might be in the, like, your later stages of your life, and this houses goes into fire. What is the, where do you go now? Correct. So I think that is why always your uh, whatever the savings are very important. You need to count on your disaster stuffs also. What happens in this case? What are your savings? Can you run your life for next 2 years, 1 years? Do you have that enough cash flows, or like your enough reserves in your account? Take into this account, so that way you can, anything emergency can happen anytime. Nobody doesn't know. Correct. So as a homeowners or any individuals, have some basically savings, so that anytime emergency happens, you have enough cash so that you can run around. And one more thing is, like, Sia, you might be asking me the question, does it impact the Bay Area real estate market?
Yes, that was on my mind.
Correct. See, if because of this, all this fires right now, a lot of more than 110K people right now don't have a savings. I mean, don't have their homes to stay right now. Since they don't have a home to stay, we can expect a lot of, some few folks can move to a real estate Bay Area also, to avoid that fire stuffs. So we are expecting that some increase in the rental, and even the Bay Area home prices to go up because of this. Let's see how it goes in, but surely we are going to expect the some increase due to even this also, because of LA fires. And one more thing is, lot of times, recently also, 1 week back also, one of my client wanted to buy in a Los Altos Hills. It was heavily covered by trees and everything. I told my like, especially the buyer, dude, check the NSD report. If the house is reported in the wildfire zones, right, don't buy it. Even if you buy with a fire insurances also, right, most of the times it will not be covered, unless you are in a millionaire or you are in a billionaire, you have enough savings, then only you can afford to buy that kind of homes. So that is why watch
So are
out.
you discouraging the entire Los Altos area, or there is a
I'm not
specific zone that is covered
only
with
the
the wild?
only which is, no, I'm not just talking about, don't say that only Los Altos Hills. There it's a rich neighborhood, luxury neighborhood. Only some of the homes where it is completely covered away from the public, basically all these things, right? So watch out for that kind of homes. But if you're a first time home buyer, and if you don't have any savings for yourself, then try to avoid this kind, because you don't have any like all the savings for yourselves, right? Like, that's why better to watch out. Okay. Not only that, but
Absolutely.
and even the San Jose, some parts of the San Jose very close to the densely, right? Like that also you need to watch out for it. That is why whenever you buy the house, look for a NSD report. So the National Hazard Disclosure, that gives you what kind of, basically it is in the flood insurance. Does it need a flood insurance? Does it need a fire insurance? So all this information would be given it. So that's why always before buying a house, looking at the NSD, National Hazard Disclosures, helps you a lot in this future circumstances happens
So
later.
looking at the National Hazard Disclosure Report, and then also the apps that you mentioned, Genesis Evacuation and Watch Duty.
Yeah.
We will be just taking a short break. We'll come back on the show, and we're looking forward to hearing from you as well. Join the conversation. The number is 1877 Bolly 92. That's 1877 Bolly 92, or 1-877-265-5992. We look forward to talking to you. We have Nagaraj and Aya with us. We'll take a short break and be back on Bolly 92.3 FM. To buy or sell a property and for all your real estate needs, contact Quick Realtor Nagaraj Annaya, your friendly real estate guide. Nagaraj Annaya, the one-stop shop for all real estate needs. Call 208-805-4653 or log on to nagarajhomes.org. Welcome back to Bolly 92.3 FM. We are with Nagaraj Annaya, highly respected Bay Area realtor, entrepreneur, and mortgage consultant who's helped thousands of clients with his expertise in the dynamic Bay Area housing market. And Nagaraj, now,
And I think, Sia, before we jump into the next topic, let's cover one few more things on the LA fires related, right?
okay, sure,
I
absolutely.
think one important information, right? Like I think one of the issues also was the hydrants were not working in, right? That was also one of the issues. So that is why a lot of businesses like cities make sure you need to install the fire sprinklers. So installing the fire sprinklers are also so expensive nowadays. Recently, I'm upgrading one of the commercial space to install the fire sprinklers. All your existing water lines needs to be upgraded. So that one is also one of the expensive stuffs. And installing the fire sprinklers already on top of it, alarm systems, all for the commercial spaces are becoming so expensive. That is why even the new constructions for all most of the residentials, right? Cities make sure you need to be installing all this fire sprinklers. I think going forward, retrofit also, right? Retrofitting the homes. I think the cities need to figure out, is there a way we can do a cheaper version of the fire sprinklers or the ways to upgrade it? Okay. So I would encourage to more research to go on this. What are the ways we can do it? That also saves a lot of times. That can also save the when this kind of issues happens in. Yeah, well, Sia, we can go with this next question you have.
Yes, I do agree with you that any steps that are taken so that in future we can really save everybody from this catastrophe.
Yeah.
But now moving on to our next topic is crypto market, that surging crypto market in 2025. And Nagraj, do you think it will have any impact on the Bay Area investors?
Yeah, I think crypto is one of the reasons. Crypto is one of the reasons our home prices to go up so much also, because a lot of times, but we have not seen a transactions happening in the crypto still now, but most of the times it's a cash only, right? Crypto transactions are not happening, but most of the times it's a cash transactions which is happening. So the crypto market might be contributing, one of the reasons contributing factors for all these cash transactions or increasing home prices. Recently, this week, we put in a one offer in Milpitas. This was a condo listed for 1.15, close to 1,300 square footage. You know how much it went? It went more than 1.25. There was no comparables for even for 1.2 this home because it's being in a smaller house. So since people are making other ways like ways and means of making a money nowadays, right, or contributing to increased Bay Area home prices.
But as you said, prices are still soaring, and many people feel renting is the only viable option for with a median price.
I think let's talk. I think renting, you said a good thing. I think recently I was looking at the rental markets here. All the single families around in Santa Clara County, there's been rented close to $7,000. Do you believe that? $7,000. Okay.
That's a
And
lot of
even for
rent.
that's a close to a 1,500 square footage homes, 3 bed, 2 bath, single family homes are listed close to that much. You can look at the soaring rental home prices now. But if somebody had bought a house 2 years back, or even last year also they had bought, right? They would have controlled by themselves, like paying the fixed amount
Mortgage at that rate.
mortgage, right? Where can people can afford even a 7,000 a month is a throwaway. And I think since we're talking about the rental, recently I met one of the
Mhm.
business owner. Okay, he's doing a business in Milpitas. You know how much rent he's paying for that business? He's paying a $22,000 every month for that space. It's a bigger space, so he's paying a $22,000. Dude, I told him, what kind of investment is this? 22,000 in the rental is a throwaway. Instead of that, you could have bought one commercial space for yourself. Okay, because he was running a cricket academy in a Milpitas. I told him, Dude, that's a throwaway money. Why can't you buy a commercial space for yourself? You can buy because there's a lot of loans or mortgages available for you, like for a mortgages for the commercial space to buy, like SBA, small business operations, you can do it. With a 35% down, you can get an investor loans. Okay. So when there are a lot of options available for you, why are you doing a throwaway money of $22,000 for a commercial spaces?
But are the options really available? Like $1.3 million, if you're saying, is like just a very median price.
Mhm.
Uh, the only solution then maybe is to go towards Central Valley or maybe like, Sacramento or Lathrop or places like this. But then, since most of the offices are actually opening up, at least requiring people to come back 3 days or some of them even 5 days. So, what do you think is a more smarter solution? How do you tackle that
I
situation?
think it's a well said, like 1.3. I think it's a challenging, but you still can get it. Last year, I closed few homes for 1.3 million range. One was in the Fremont, but you can't get a perfect home. Like basically, you might get a 3 bed, 2 bath, kind of duet homes. You can get it at duet homes, or you can get a condos. Because recently also I went in a 995-123 zip codes. Like there was a 3 bed, 2 bath condos available for you under $1 million. It was on a new construction in the Blossom Valley areas. Okay, so and you do get a 3 bed, 2 bath condos available in a Fremont, Santa Clara. These are all condos. Okay, you get it in even in a Milpitas also. So if you want a single family homes, then it might be a challenging. And I told you a townhouse also. Just recently, last week we put an offer for a townhouse for a close to 1.25 million. So there are lot of options available for you. The San Jose, Fremont, Milpitas, Berryessa, uh, Santa Clara, Sunnyvale. But that one is not a single family home options. If you're waiting for a single family homes, if that's completely wrong what you're doing in.
So, any thoughts on is there any way, like, that there's a land available at any of these locations, maybe not the prime locations,
Mhm.
and then one decides to build on it? Can that be a viable option?
That's a great one to do it, but you can't do it with a 10% or 20%. You need a minimum of a 35% to 40% down, because these are 35 to 50. I think I have an investor who can do it for a 35% down. So 35% down is minimum is needed, and it's a interest only loans, and it is higher interest rates. Basically, to do this, you need a minimum 2 years or a 1 year, 2 years. I think 1 years to build, 1 years to get approvals, and 1 years to build. So before buying a land, you need to see, or a plot, you need to make sure what are the things you can build there. Is a residential is allowed? Is a commercial mixed is used is allowed? Is a lot of things goes in before buying a plot. You can't go and buy 20 acres in a Gilroy, where it is in a more of an agricultural land. That you can't do 200 homes there. So a lot of study needs to be going in. If somebody wants to buy a plot, do reach out to me. It's a free consultation with me, and I can basically assist their case, and I can help them where to buy.
So, I know that we're really approaching time when we'll have to wind off. Any closing words, Nagaraj?
Listeners, if you want to reach out to me, it's easy to reach out, and it's a free consultation also. Go to nagrajhomes.com. On top of the home page, there's a WhatsApp icon. Do reach out, click on that, and you can easily connect with me. Anything you might be planning to buy now, or if you want to buy future. I'm always there to help you out. Anything on the Bay Area real estate needs. As Sia said, it's a one place where you can get a mortgage consultation plus buying and selling a house in real estate. It's me. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Nagaraj. As always, it's like great advice. To Phir Niklenge to take a sneak peek into the state of real estate on the show Real Estate Roundup next week, same time, only on Bolly 92.3 FM. Until then, CSA, sayonara.
Thank you.